What's up guys, Subderek here, back for another VOD review. Today we have a game from Tarteman. This is one of these replay VOD reviews because it's on a comp that is a little niche. It's a very strong reroll comp if you end up in a good spot for it, but not one that you can play every game. And so I'm excited to VOD review it. These are the other comps. I talked yesterday about, common comps that you are... And oh my god, we're already way into this. I talked yesterday about common comps that, you can play every single or very many games and you need to know how to optimize. These are the comps where you might not be able to play them every single game, but if you get a spot from them, you certainly should play. Before we get too far in the video, I do want to shout out today's sponsor, so I'll be right back after that. Today's video is sponsored by Manta Sleep. Look, I gotta be honest with you guys, I suck at falling asleep. I will lay in bed for hours just staring at the ceiling. Everybody says that you should nap. It's a super good way to get rejuvenated in the middle of the day. I cannot nap to save my life. I will just sit down for an hour, not fall asleep, and then be like, well, I just wasted an hour. And so today's sponsor is near and dear to my heart. They have been super valuable in getting me to be able to actually fall asleep faster, to be able to nap. It is Manta Sleep. If you guys haven't heard of Manta Sleep, they are super premium sleep masks. Check out how nice these masks look. They're super soft. They're super breathable, so it's not like you're getting like sweaty in the middle of the night because you have this like really thick sleep mask on. Super breathable, so you have no issues with that. They come in a ton of different types. So this is their Pro mask here. I love this one, but also I love their sound mask. That one is crazy. It's got Bluetooth speakers inside of it that are adjustable. Really nice. I'm someone who loves to go to sleep listening to like a podcast or an audiobook or something like that. It's really nice for that. Here's me, a happy Manta Sleep customer, putting on my Manta Sleep mask and getting ready for bed. They're easily adjustable, so if you got a big head, a small head, super easy to fit on. And look how happy I am there. I mean, it's just they're so soft, so nice, completely blackout. I cannot see anything when I have these masks on, so they are perfect for that, and so soft, like I said. So if you want to get your own Manta Sleep mask, check the link in the description. Use code SubZeroArc at checkout for 10% off anything. Getting something from them helps support the channel, and you are setting yourself up for really good sleep. So once again, thanks to Manta Sleep for sponsoring today's video. Thanks again to Manta Sleep for sponsoring today's video. All right, let's get into it. So maybe a little obvious from the thumbnail and from our start here. We start the off with a Katarina and we give her an over 9,000 and we are off to the races. This is definitely looking like in this spot going to be a Katarina reroll game. We have a chain vest already, which is, half Edge of Night, kind of one of the BIS items onto Katarina. Over 9,000 is an interesting one on Katarina. Now, this is an old school over 9,000. And I actually love this. Make 10 gold here. Let's look at power up here or augment here real quick, and then we'll yap more about power up here. Interesting possibilities. I mean, I don't think it's backup dancers. I could see an epoch here just guaranteeing you the kind of econ to hit the board. I will say this is kind of a comp where I do feel like Katarina reroll really benefits from combat augments. If you take Crown's Will, you could just make a death cap and be done with it and have AP items on the Katarina. You could move it later if you really need to. I don't exactly hate this. And yeah, he's going to roll that first. See, Battle Academia Crest. I wonder if you do even want to take this here. The upside is that it gives you 7 ways. You probably do just take Battle Academia Crest, right? We'll see here. Probably not Caretakers. He rerolls middle here. I mean, he could Caretakers to guarantee his items. The only problem is we're going to be going level 8 very far away. And yeah, we do end up taking that BA Crest. I like it. I actually like Battle Academia Crest a lot in this spot here for a few reasons. I mean, one, it allows you to, play a slightly stronger board. Right now, we can fit in that Executioner easier. Right now, we're fitting in actually Protector a little bit easier on this board. The big thing that I like about it, though, is that it allows you to, on level 7, play 7 Battle Academia plus an Executioner. What very frequently happens in this comp is you get stuck. You roll a lot on level 6 and you play, 5 Battle Academia plus an Executioner on level 6. And so then you have a little bit of gold left after hitting Katarina 3. You push level 7, but then you can't play 7 BA on level 7 because you need Executioner in for this Katarina unit. So what often happens is you kind of get stuck. You say, okay, I'll spend a little bit of time on 7, hopefully Cat 3 is strong enough for you to stabilize on 7, and then you can push level 8 from there, then play 7 plus the 1. But the Battle Academia emblem here allows us to, you know, bypass that downside of having to push level 8. We can just play everything on 7, and then on 8 we can play, you know, another frontline unit. We can play a random Kasante, we can play a Kobuko, all this kind of stuff. I do also want to keep an eye on our over 9k value. 5 AD, 5 AP so far, so the AD is kind of a miss, the AP is a hit. This is something that I was talking about actually in one of my coaching sessions, which, you know, Metafy, link in the description down below if you guys are interested, about how, you know, over 9,000, just because you take over 9,000 at 2-1 doesn't mean that you have to play over 9,000 the entire game. If you get just horrible stats from over 9,000, I saw a screenshot of somebody who had over 9,000. They were playing Kale, and they had 450 HP from over 9,000. I mean, that is just sunk cost here. I guess you do take the sword. Yeah, I like that. That is sunk cost. You know, if you get to that point, I would say even if you get to the end of stage 2 and you haven't hit anything that's relevant for your carry, I would say just chuck the over 9,000 and go for a better power up on someone like Kale, on someone like Katarina. Even here we have 10 AD so far, which I mean is not really what I'm that excited for. He's also going to opt to make the Gunblade here over the Edge of Night. That's actually quite interesting. I'm down to pull up the stats here. I mean, I think his idea is that, one, we took a sword, so you know, if you guys don't know how kind of like carousel item distribution works, we're very likely to find another sword this game. And so we can turn that other sword into an Edge of Night, and then this first sword can end up just being a Gunblade, which is a better slam right now. Edge of Night, a pretty mediocre slam early, you know, making your units live longer. Doesn't really do all that much. I guess it's Gather Force. This is kind of awkward, but I mean, it can't be either of the other two. So yeah, it must be. But yeah, I guess this makes sense. A better slam, a good healing item onto Katarina. I actually played a game with a Radiant Gunblade onto Katarina that felt really, really good. So I guess if we get a, I don't know, a Radiant item, kind of, what do you call it? The one that selects and turns a regular item into Radiant, then we could make Radiant Gunblade, and it would be pretty cool here. So we are, I'm going to do one more over 9k. Well, I mean, I'm going to keep checking over 9k throughout the entire game, but I want to check a big one here. 15 AD. Like, this is getting to the point where I'm actually really thinking about bailing from over 9k. I mean, you look at Katarina's physical damage, it's not much. You look at her physical damage scaling, there's nothing. There's literally nothing. I think I would be very close to bailing on this. I mean, yeah, I would probably bail on this at 3-1. You could hold it all the way until stage 4, so you get out of things like Midas Touch, but I wouldn't even waste my time with that. We do have 5 Battle Academia, which is nice to play here. We do get to make Gnasher's Tooth here with the bow and the belt. This is an item that has gone up way high priority on Katarina. It looks even better than Guardbreaker in the stats, actually, if you you know, get the chance to make it. So I really like Gnasher's Tooth on Katarina these days. I think it's a fantastic item on her. I mean, this could be our build. Finish it off with Edge of Night, and boom, we would be done there. And then you can use the rod for something like a Morello, something like an Inox Spark. It makes a lot of sense to me. All right. Let's check our second augment here in a quick second. Boom. Hero 101. I tend to not I think this augment just kind of sucks. Obviously, Ascension seems really awkward in Katarina. Healing Orb sounds okay. I mean, yeah, it's just you have to win 4 player combats from here to gain, what, 100 health and 50% reduced max mana is, I guess, nice, but blah. I mean, the upside is it's all Battle Academia units, and you are going to be playing 7, but I mean, would you ever consider? I mean, I would consider tons of stats over all of these. He's looking. Ooh, he likes the Hero 101. All right, so the Hero 101 Enjoyer has logged in here. We're gonna level to 6. We do need to roll here for Katarina too. That's the big thing. Kind of can't stop till we get enough. Kind of can't stop until we hit a Katarina too. And we do find it okay on that almost last roll here. So big hits for Tarteman here. And yeah, he took the Hero 101. I mean, you know, I guess if there were a spot to take it, this would be it. You know, we're playing 2-cost reroll, so we're very likely to win the next 4 fights in a row with Katarina 2 plus Rakan 2. So we can very easily just get to 4 wins here. And then, I mean, I will say, getting to this bonus, especially on 7 Battle Academia units, I mean, 15% reduced max mana is pretty huge. 100 HP, you know, onto your entire board is not even bad. So I think the biggest downside to this augment is just the risk of, well, if we don't 4-win here, we don't have an augment. I mean, we don't have an augment right now. We have to win essentially down an augment for all these fights. But once we get there, we will feel good about it. This is a Callista 3. I think as long as she doesn't just, snipe the Katarina, I was going to say we can win this. It might be okay. Cat, oh god, we're fine, right? I mean, surely these guys, yeah, can finish off the rest of the board. They're very good. Let's do another over 9k check. This looks awful. I gotta be real. I feel like I would get off over 9K like now. You know, I would say, you know, we give it a few more rounds to try to hit some mana gen or something like that. We haven't hit anything acceptable though. Okay, I guess we're gonna take the rod here. Could be a death cap if it has to be. The downside is that like you don't really want it to be death cap for Katarina item. You do really want an Edge of Night onto her, I would think. But you can make it onto Cat, then move that over to a Yuumi later. I mean, maybe this could just be our board, our build here, and you say she's gonna be tanky enough with the HP, with the Gunblade. I mean, perhaps. All right. This is another big fight that we need to win here. I think it should be fine unless Volibear goes crazy mode. I mean, Katarina too is kind of a unit these days. Definitely like pre-buffs, this unit was pretty garbage. But after the buffs to her this patch, and I guess that's the other thing to talk about, you know, why we are talking about this comp. It did get buffed up pretty significantly this patch, and there are other buffs to Battle Academia that kind of made it generally stronger as well. So I do think this line is a lot better than it once was. I guess some people might also ask, why isn't he playing Veteran Katarina? You know, Veteran Katarina is a thing. The stats just hate it, honestly. The stats say that you should not play Veteran Katarina. You should just play 7 Battle Academia. You just get too much value out of this potential onto Katarina. I mean, it's a lot of damage. Getting the second blink is obviously huge, which, you know, if you're playing Veteran, it's quite difficult actually to get in even just 3 Battle Academia, right? You have to kind of go out of your way. You play, you know, 4 and then, you know, get in 3 Battle Academia after that. But that's, you know, at the minimum, that's level, I guess level 6 if you're a high roller, but, you know, more likely, oftentimes level 7. All right, another over 9K check. We did get to 1 mana gen 10 AP. I wonder if he really is going to greed. I mean, this is actually a really cool game because you know, if we stay on over 9,000, this will be a good learning about over 9,000. That even, especially on Katarina, where, I mean, this is a unit where she has, there is a lot of value in getting defensive stats onto her because she is a melee carry. So, you know, her just, you know, spinning in the front line, having some extra HP, extra RNMR, you might end up getting to another cast onto her. All right, we're going to sell off the Callista here. We are going to power up, ooh, yeah, the Akali here, who is going to get some of our extra items. And yeah, we're just going to make Gunblade JG here, just making all the items. I was looking maybe TG here, but I think, yeah, he made Steadfast, Gunblade, JG here, just to go for the triple slam here, just to get all these items made. So yeah, we are not going to be trying to greed for any kind of, I mean, these are going to be our Katarina items. I still believe they haven't bug fixed Evil Beyond Measure. I haven't seen it anywhere. I mean, I don't think either of these are very good. Climb the Ladder you could certainly take here with the spat. I think is good enough, certainly. And looks like Tarteman agrees here. Great. Pick up here. Akali pair. I mean, I wouldn't mind hitting an Akali 2 on level 6. It'd be a bit high roll, but it could happen. 6 Rakans is quite nice. I do really like Rakan 3 in this comp, especially if you can get over to like an Unstoppable onto him, have him fly into the backline and waste a bunch of their time. I think it's really nice. Also, of course, note that we are doing this kind of split positioning, but it's a little bit funny, actually. We're doing the split positioning, but not completely split. We're trying to split, you know, any front line they have on the left side, but we do also, we're putting Akali third from the right, 2 hexes away from the Katarina, because we want her to be dashing a corner. So it's actually, it's a pretty funny positioning setup here. I would also say, if you could trade me this spot for any average TFT game, I definitely would not take it. This is also a pretty deep roll down, but it does allow us to hit the Rakan 3 here. And yeah, the second we find that, move the power up, we do hit Unstoppable is huge. And yeah, now he's actually thinking about, you know, moving this positioning so that, I mean, Rakan's always going to dash. So I think the Unstoppable actually does kind of adjust your, it does mean that you should adjust your positioning a little bit here. Oh, we get... I think this fight was actually winnable if that snipe had hit Rakan instead of Cat, but we do get sniped there, down to 55 HP. Still pretty healthy compared to the rest of the lobby, but I mean, getting lower, and we're only 6 Katarinas. We are really open to a potential like Giga low roll here of just completely missing. He was looking at Cloak there, interestingly enough. Yeah, I mean, I guess Cloak's nice. I was looking at Rod for Spark, Morello, Crown Guard, like so many things you can build out of it. But yeah, I mean, it's not like we can roll super, okay. But if you hit 2 okay. I mean, that is honestly just karma for the fact that it took us so long to hit this many Katarinas. I would say hitting your units at 4 or 5 is not high roll, but very good for us. And now we are fully online. I mean, we have the Hero 101 at this point. We have climbed the ladder here as well. We have the Katarina 3 as well. She did get a little bit sniped out this fight, which is pretty bad, but maybe Battle Academia Akali can just clear. Wait a second. This Akali is a monster. She just cleared the entire board. Wow, I mean, I think most people, when they're playing around this board, they are looking to play Rise as their +1 just because you get a good mentorship bonus here. But I mean, this Akali with all of the extra stats from Hero 101, from Climb the Ladder. I mean, she's just a monster. Over 9K check again. God, these stats look so bad. I am so tempted to just remove her this, look for a, you know, a Dark Amulet or a Crimson Veil even, just for some survivability that she doesn't have right now. I mean, yeah, we get cleared here, and I mean, perhaps it's just because Magenta's board is quite strong. Perhaps it is because our board is it's a little interesting here. All right, we are also still stuck on 5 Battle Academia. We need to push 7, and this is where that spat is coming in really, really big here. It's going to allow us to push 7 and have our, you know, our entire board have 7 Battle Academia active, which is going to be so, so big here. Prismatic Orb. It's actually not that good. I mean, Spark, we need to use this for util. Whoa, he took Sterax. Am I crazy? Wow, he completely said, I don't care about Spark whatsoever. I'd rather just have items for, I guess it's, yeah, Sterax for the Rakan here. He said, I'd rather have Sterax than a Spark in this spot here. And I thought this was going to become Morello here, but he ends up, I didn't even see what he crafted. I think it was something onto another unit because it was Sunfire, right? He had a chain plus belt here, so I guess he made Sunfire. Where did that end up going? All right, well, we'll see after this fight. He's going too quick for me. Sunfire Garen. I don't know if I can co-sign this. Why did we Sunfire Garen instead of making Morello? I know Morello, right now, the home on the Ezreal will be kind of awkward, but I mean, once we get to Yuumi, surely that's going to be much better than the Sunfire on the Garen. And I'm really shocked that we said we prefer Sterax to Spark here, but I mean, we saw a similar move in one of our more recent VOD reviews it was a veteran Janna VOD review, I believe, where a player ended up going Sterax over Warmogs. I mean, just this priority on Sterax is quite interesting to me. I can't, honestly, this is one of those things where I can't say I completely understand it, especially onto a unit like, you know, Rakan. It's not like this guy has great AD scaling or anything like that. I mean, it's a big shield, so that's the upside. All right, and oh, wow, he also, I mean, I'm consistently really interested in what's going on this game. We opted to pull off the Unstoppable from Rakan, saying we don't actually prefer it that much. I mean, I wonder if the Unstoppable is getting pulled off because it's making our positioning a little too awkward for stuff like Akali. He's dashing in and kind of messing up our Akali's ability to take aggro. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of, because I really, really love Unstoppable in this comp, just because I think he flies in there. Oftentimes, he makes space for Katarina to do work. That was Spark on Carousel, but we cannot pick it up, so it's going to have to be a JG that is eventually going to go onto this Yuumi, but for now is going to have to sit on this this Ezreal, I guess. And yeah, I mean, just rolling down here. We can fit the Rise in here much better in onto this board. I mean, not only is he a great mentorship bonus, but he's 3 Executioner on this board, and we are going to continue to chill with this board that we got. And yeah, going to do this not full split positioning. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, he really doesn't care that much about getting the full part the Red Sea transitioning or positioning that I feel like so many people go for on this comp. He's kind of just putting his units almost standard frontline. Once again, it's interesting. There's the Yuumi. At long last, we can move the items over. Feel really, really, really good about this. I mean, Yumi's just such a great item holder these days. We have the Leona as well, which means we can move the Sunfire over there, and all of a sudden our board is looking really, really nice here. And remember, we're still scaling over 9,000 every fight, and we've got a 2 mana gen, 25 AP. I mean, it has certainly paid off that we have been so all in on this over 9K. And I mean, to be fair, like I said, the tank stats matter. Making Katarina live longer means that she's going to do more damage. I mean, if a little bit of extra RMR means that she gets a cast off, I mean, that's another cast that she got. And I mean, this far into the game, now our damage stats are also really good as well. The 30 AP, the 20 attack speed, the 2 mana gen even, in combination with all those stats. I mean, this is easily the best power up to have at this spot. And so it was a little scary, but we made it through the scary part, and now we're in an amazing spot. We get Void Staff as well, which is so, so good here to allow us to get the MR Shred onto our board. That was the only thing we were really missing here. And we have the open slot onto Yuumi that we can throw it onto there. Just need to make sure Katarina and Yuumi are on the same side here. I mean, I guess I will say, so just back to Unstoppable versus Body Change. I mean, Body Change does seem like a fantastic power-up in this comp, giving shielding to the Katarina to make sure that, you know, she can survive early, shielding onto the Rakan as well, who is, you know, a protector that we don't actually have protector in. But the big thing is we have Gargoyle, which is going to get a lot of value out of that shield. Though, honestly, our Gargoyle positioning, I mean, it'd be a lot better with Unstoppable because he'd run in. But our Gargoyle positioning, you know, Rakan's not taking aggro from like, you know, a trillion different units here, but all good here. We are at this point win streaking with this board. Ooh, this is scary board there though. All their all the crew units 3-star. We do snipe the Twisted Fate, which is big here. Cat doing good work. I think we're, oh, it's really close, but I think we're good. Yeah, the Kali, great work there. Another win, and every fight that we win is so big here, because that's another round that we get to scale up our over 9k. Rolling just kind of like donkey rolling here for the Yuumi here, and also holding on to Jinx here. I thought maybe we were trying to like deny somebody. I mean, maybe this person that we just, no, I don't know why we're actually holding on to this Jinx here. Like there's no Jinx 3 to deny here on this side. So yeah, I mean, maybe just because he hates Jinx players. I mean, I understand it. All right, 30 AP, 20 AS, 2 mana gen, and then a bunch of other random stats. The AD is really the miss, the one that I feel like does absolutely nothing here. But I mean, still, her auto attacks do a little bit more damage. I've seen worse, I guess. All right, gonna go into carousel here. This is gonna be our last item, probably just something pretty good for a Leona here. See no need to go for anything like an even Shroud here. So yeah, just a tank item. Warmugs looks great here with the Armor Mar from Bastion. Gonna roll down here. Probably not gonna be able to find Nakali 3 this game, but I think we roll down here, try to pick up the Yuumi 2, who's honestly a pretty big spike in a spot like this. And yeah, he's holding, I still don't really, like, I mean, especially now that the Jinx player is dead. I mean, he must be just the #1 Jinx hater. Yeah, he rolls and actually does hit Rise 2. If this fight's a Rise 2 diff, this is going to be hilarious, though. We won last fight and we scaled a little bit up better, but this fight RNG was actually really bad for us, or more so positioning, honestly. Their carriers were allowed to just blow up our board. Yeah, he does actually sell the Rise. Oh, really smart stuff to sell the Rise there. What does Rise 2 do on this board? Nothing. What does Yuumi 2 do on this board? A lot. So especially after losing that last fight, we say, who cares about Rise 2? We're going to sell those Rise, roll down, and we actually get completely rewarded in that we hit Yuumi 2. And that could be the diff in this last fight here. I think we just want to make sure that our Katarina is not taking full aggro. Oh God, this looks pretty bad though, because she is going to take full aggro. But oh my God, she actually, I mean, it was beautiful. She just went straight to backlane. Who cares about aggro? And she kills everybody. Holy, actually a positioning gap. I didn't even see the idea there, but just have her teleport straight into the backline without even the C's positioning and just clear everybody. I mean, what a cool game from Tarteman here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, check out my Twitch Medify. I'll leave the links down below. Once again, thanks to Manta Sleep for sponsoring today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.